Hi there, YouTube. I'm taking a little bit of downtime right now because I'm helping out my family to make a video real quick on atheist movements, and the main reason I wanted to make this was after reading a book called The True Believers by Eric Hoffer. It was recommended to me by my international relations professor, and I really enjoyed it, so I recommend everyone read it here. I'm going to start right off the bat with making the comparisons from Eric Hoffer's model to the atheist movements by bringing up the first component of a mass movement according to Hoffer, and that is a disenfranchised portion of society. He brings up the new poor, which I don't really feel is applicable in this case. It might be in some instances, where people who once were really rich now have nothing. He also brings up like people who are just poor in general, people who are criminals, people who are just generally looked down upon, people who are misfits and don't fit in society with the mores and norms of society, just generally don't get along, that those people are prime people to be part of social movements. And the comparison then can be made to the atheist movements because, in the United States anyway, being religious is very important. And so somebody who is not religious might be frowned upon. And I remember this happening to me a couple of weeks ago. I was going to the gym, and I was wearing a Bad Religion t-shirt with the cross and the no sign over it that I had since I was like 15. And getting poked by some guy with his cane and saying, "You need Jesus in your life," and you know, I remember that stuff. And often they also bring up LGBT stuff, which they're not too highly looked upon, at least by a portion of society. And I still remember, God, Bionic Dance. I still remember her going like, "I'm oppressed by the religious because I'm a lesbian." I'm just like, didn't see that coming. Which is, I always find that funny when she says that because she lives in Seattle, you know, the most liberal, well, one of the most liberal cities in the country where you can actually marry someone of the same sex. So, just a little point of annoyance there. But that's how I feel they tie in there, because they're often not following into the norms and morals that society normally goes by. So I feel like they're prime targets for a mass movement right there. The next component in Eric Hoffer's system is a force that these movements feel is holding them back, and this one is also going to be pretty broad. It's religion normally. You will usually have, based on the rhetoric, them pointing out like how theists, or particularly Christians, are irrational, crazy, delusional, homophobic, misogynist, anti-science, etc. I still remember Richard Dawkins' book, famously titled The God Delusion, as if you believe in God, you're delusional. And they often try and blame bad things on religion. I remember the Imagine No Religion pictures with the Twin Towers there, as if terrorism was strictly a religious thing, which I'm sure if you were one of those Indian government officials killed in an ambush by Maoist rebels, you'd agree that terrorism was religiously motivated. Or if you're killed in a bombing done by the Tamil Tigers, you would agree that was religiously motivated. Or if you were a black man hung by the KKK, you would agree that was a religiously motivated terrorist attack. They often try and say like how religion's responsible for homophobia, even though there are atheists out there that are against gay marriage. There are atheists that are misogynist, which, you know, if you're anyone who's paid attention to the YouTube user Thunderfoot lately, you know that one. There are Christians that support gay marriage. There are Christians that are pro-choice. There are Christians that are for secularism, like, for example, the Alliance of Separation of Church and State. There are Christians that are pro-science. Francis Collins headed up the Human Genome Project. He was a Christian improving science and making scientific discoveries. So that whole notion that religion makes the world worse is a farce, but there are a lot of people out there that believe that and use religion to point out how crazy people are and use that as what they believe is oppressing and holding society back. Which then leads me to the next portion of Eric Hoffer's system. This next portion is that these people, in this case the atheists, in these movements, are superior, that they're destined to rule, that they are bestowed, they're the chosen people. And the atheists that I'm referring to here do this quite a bit by trying to imply that they are rational. I can distinctly remember the one user entitled Complete Rationality. You have Cult of Dusty going, logic. Thunderfoot going, reason, logic, science, education for the win, science makes my dick hard, that crap. Bionic Dance saying, don't run on automatic, think. You have Dawkins and all that reason rally crap. You just have that there. And it's really funny to hear them say how intelligent they are, when a lot of them are really retarded. For example, the whole stuff about religion making the world worse stuff is really ill-read and really stupid. I really remember the video made by the Skeptical Heretic, which I'll just link below, because it was brilliant, where he points out that a lot of reasons we have, a lot of the cool stuff we do, is because of mechanisms of religion. And a lot of things that just annoy me is that they think that somehow making you an atheist makes you more smart, when, you have anti-vaxxers, and 9/11 conspiracy theorists, and conspiracy theorists in general who are atheists. You have Scientologists who are atheists, and people who believe we're put here by aliens who happen to not believe in God. I don't think they're any more rational or reasonable because they don't believe in God. I think they're crazy and stupid. There's one of my personal annoyances would be a user like Vogter, who thinks that, the fact they supported Occupy Denmark means that the United States is going to indefinitely detain him at Gitmo or something. You have, Skidmark Radio, Ojam Flipper, who just, thinks the NDA is going to, indefinitely detain him and eventually be shut up about that. Hopefully, I doubt it. But, there are so many atheists who are plain old stupid, like Fringe Elements and, Sardonic Skeptic. You just have, or Asymmetrical Welfarists, I believe I called them, Derwick. Still mad at about that? Anyway. You just have people who are stupid who are atheists. But they try to hold themselves up as the intelligent ones. And that they're bright, and that, they're going to lead the society in this glorious, scientific, rational, whatever you want to call it. Some want different things than other people, like the Atheism Plus is more feminist, and then you have Thunderfoot, who's pretty outspoken against that. Which, both sides are fucking retarded, but, whatever. That's really my thoughts. They're both retarded. I really don't want to get into that crap. But, yeah, that's really how I feel about that. And that's really what Eric Hoffer's system tiles down to, is that a mass movement needs to take people who are oppressed by society, shift the blame off of them by saying, here's this outside force that's hurting you, we're the destined ones to rule, and you're gonna succeed. And the fact that he argues that systems like this are interchangeable, how you can go from one completely disparate ideology to another, I think perfectly ties into this as well. It's a lot of atheists in these movements act like religious people with the groupthink. Like Thunderfoot subscriber base, who will probably flag this video to fuck because I'm making fun of Thunderfoot for being a misogynist, Islamophobic, egotistical douchebag who deserves every stupid bit of hate he gets. And then I'm probably going to get crap from the Atheism Plus people because I'm thinking that their whole social justice crap is just vague and nebulous, and because, social justice can be redefined to mean whatever the hell you want it to. And you also have where, feminism, which I'm okay with, I don't subscribe to it, I don't subscribe to any ideology, but, they're trying to argue that arises naturally out of atheism, which is wrong. It doesn't. Being atheist has not informed any of my decisions on anything. But you just have so many people who claim to be irreligious acting religiously. And I think that it just proves Eric Hoffer's system to be valid. And that's really what I wanted to share with people. I don't know if I effectively communicated it at all. I expect this video to be very hated, but it's really how I feel. I feel like it's just another mass movement, a bunch of people who are claiming to be irreligious and rational intelligence people who, are great, saying that, who are oppressed by the evil religious people, and it's just the same crap, just a different flavor. And that's how I feel about it. And it's really funny because they acted exactly like the people they're opposed to. So that's how I guess my thoughts. So YouTube, take it easy.